Hey man, you ever walk into a room and feel the shift? Not because you said anything profound, not because you were dressed in some eye-catching way, but because of the very energy you carried, the way you moved through the space. That's calm energy, and what most guys don't realize, in a world drowning in noise and frantic posturing, is that this quiet force is louder than any pickup line, more potent than any flashy outfit, and more compelling than any fake alpha behavior could ever hope to imitate. In a world filled with the deafening static of desperation, with loud men trying to prove themselves at every turn, your stillness is what gets noticed. It's the quiet, unshakable confidence that says, I don't need to chase, I don't need to impress, I just am. And women, they feel that on a deep, cellular level. They may not be able to articulate it, but they sense it. And that sense, that vibration of a man at peace with himself, it's magnetic. While most guys are out there trying to impress with clever lines they rehearsed in the mirror, with canned openers and a swagger borrowed from a movie character, you could be doing something far more powerful. You could be being, not doing, not chasing, just existing within a frame that is so grounded, so composed, that it speaks volumes without uttering a single word. That's the game most men will never even know how to play, because they're too busy playing themselves, convinced that more effort, more words, and more performance is the key to a woman's heart. Calm energy doesn't beg to be seen, it doesn't reach, it doesn't grasp, it doesn't plead, it attracts, because it comes from a place of intrinsic completeness, not from a place of lack. And women, despite what they might say, don't fall for a man's effort, they fall for his presence. You know what they really notice when you walk by? It's not your face, not your outfit, not at first, it's your vibe. It's the subtle tension, or lack thereof, in your body. It's the speed and deliberation of your walk. It's the unhurried stillness of your gaze. It's the way your shoulders hold the room without apology. And that vibe, it says everything. A man who is at peace with himself, who doesn't flinch when eyes land on him, who isn't trying to be anything other than what he is, that man sets off alarms in her nervous system. Not the alarms of fear, but the alarms of profound curiosity. She wonders, who is he? Why doesn't he seem to care what anyone else thinks? What does he know that the other men in this room don't? And just like that, with nothing more than the way you carry your own silence, you've said more than any pickup line ever could. Calm energy is earned. It's not something you can fake, not for long. You can't just act cool. You have to be cool. And I'm not talking about a surface level detached chill. I'm talking about a deep, resonant calmness that comes from knowing who you are, from not needing anything from anyone in the room, from walking in already full. That kind of calm is rooted in a hard-won masculine maturity, and most women have never felt that in their lives. They are used to men who chase, who perform, who fold under the slightest pressure. They are used to anxious energy, to the frantic need for their approval. So when you show up as a man who simply stands tall, breathes deep, and doesn't rush anything, not his words, not his movements, not his decisions, she feels it in her bones. It's a foreign and intoxicating frequency. You don't have to be the loudest guy in the room. You don't have to crack the most jokes or dominate conversations. In fact, the most attractive man is often the quietest one. Not because he is shy, but because he is selective. He speaks only when he has something of value to say. He listens more than he talks. And when he does talk, he doesn't rush to fill the silence. He commands the space, because his words are few, but they land with weight. And that command doesn't come from ego. It comes from presence, from calm, from being so fundamentally sure of himself that he doesn't need to sell you on his worth. That's what women crave but rarely experience. A man who doesn't ask to be chosen because he is the one who chooses. Think about it. Why do women often fall so hard for the guy who barely says anything, yet still holds their undivided attention? It's because he's not overcompensating. He's not talking to fill space. He is not performing for her validation. He is grounded, calm, and in control of his own inner world, and that energy tells her something deeper than words ever could. I am not here to win you over. I am here to see if you are worth my attention. That is a reversal of the typical dynamic that most men will never master, and that's precisely why calm energy is so potent. It flips the entire game around. Now she's the one trying to impress you. A man with calm energy doesn't flinch when a woman tests him. He doesn't get reactive. He doesn't feel the need to explain himself or frantically try to fix the vibe. He holds it because he knows who he is. He knows he's not there to entertain her. He's not there to validate her every emotion. He is there to observe, to see if she brings value to his space. And that quiet evaluation, that subtle frame check, that is what triggers her attraction. Not because you are aggressive, but because You were unshakable, and women don't crave perfection, they crave stability. The man who doesn't lose himself in her emotional storm is the one she bonds to. You want to know what's louder than, "Hey beautiful," or, "Can I buy you a drink?" It's silence, it's stillness, it's eye contact that doesn't flinch, it's posture that doesn't fold, it's a voice that speaks low and slow, it's a demeanor that says, "I am not here for validation. I am here because I chose to be." That type of presence disarms her. It cuts through the noise of the room because every other guy is trying. But you're just being. And that contrast, it's unforgettable. She won't remember what the other guy said, but she will remember, with vivid clarity, how your calm made her feel. Here's what most men don't understand. Women feel your energy long before they hear your voice. They have a finely tuned radar for neediness. They can sense if you're anxious, if you're desperate, if you're trying to impress them. And the more you try, the more she instinctively pulls away. But the less you need from her, the more she leans in. That's the great paradox. The man who is unattached, who isn't fazed by her looks, who isn't rushing to prove himself, he's the one who captures her genuine interest. Because he isn't reacting to her femininity, he is witnessing it. He is grounded in his masculine core, and she feels that polarity in her body. That's chemistry. That's primal. And that's what no clever line can ever replicate. You don't need to speak first. You don't need to perform. You don't need to compete. Your calm energy is the signal. It's the silent language of the grounded man. It says, "I have done the work. I know who I am. I don't need you, but I might choose you." And that tone, that essence, that stillness, that's louder than any scripted compliment, louder than any flex, louder than any desperate attempt to stand out. Because, in a room full of boys trying to get attention, the man who doesn't need it is the one who commands it. Your calm energy is your armor. It's what protects you from becoming just another needy man. Another emotionally erratic guy who says all the right things but bleeds insecurity from his every pore. Calm energy says, "I do not perform for affection." It says, "I will not trade my presence for validation." And women feel that, even if they can't articulate it. They may try to test it. They may poke at it, challenge it, try to get a reaction out of you. But if you stay rooted, if you stay unbothered, they feel something deeper than just attraction. They feel safety. And that feeling of safety is what makes a woman truly surrender. Not the pickup line, not the money, not the bravado, but the profound emotional safety she finds in your stillness. You ever notice how the most powerful men in any room rarely say much? They let others talk. They let others perform. They observe, because they have nothing to prove. And that's what calm energy is. It's power with no need to prove itself. And that is what women are instinctually drawn to. Not because you are silent, but because your silence isn't empty, it is full. Full of presence, full of self-respect, full of unspoken depth. When you can look at a woman and not rush to fill the space, not fidget, not crack a nervous joke, not explain yourself away, she starts to feel like you see right through her. Like you're not just interested in the persona she presents, but in the truth she withholds. That kind of perceptive depth is rare. And rare is irresistible. Calm energy can't be faked. You can't fake groundedness. You can't fake emotional control. You can try, but she will see right through it. She'll feel it. Women are emotional creatures. They know when something is off. When a man pretends to be confident, but he's secretly nervous, needy, or uncertain. She knows, even if he smiles, even if he talks smooth, she feels the vibration underneath. But when your calm is real, when it comes from hours spent in solitude, from facing your own demons, from building yourself without needing applause, then your silence is powerful. Then your stillness is real. And when she feels that, she can't forget it. You don't need to chase her with compliments. You don't need to rehearse your opener. You don't need to compete with louder men. Your calm is enough. Your posture is enough. Your still, unwavering gaze is enough. And if it's not enough, for her, then she is not ready for your energy. She is not ready for a man who isn't trying to impress her, because a man with calm energy doesn't seek to be chosen. He is the prize, and the prize doesn't chase. It simply exists and invites pursuit. That's the secret women won't say out loud. They don't want the loudest man. They want the one who knows he is worth chasing, but never demands it. Men think the game is about what you say, but the real game is about who you are in silence. When you're not talking, when you're not laughing, when you're not trying to entertain, what's left? That's your vibe, that's your essence. And if your silence is heavy with anxiety, she'll feel it and retreat. If your silence is full of power, she'll feel it and melt into it. That's why calm energy is the ultimate cheat code. Because you don't have to say a word. Your very presence speaks for you. It says, I'm grounded, I'm unmoved. I know what I bring to the table. I am not here to perform. And that energy hits her on a level so much deeper than any compliment ever could. You don't need to stand out with flash. You stand out with presence. You stand out by not being like the others, by being patient, still, and controlled while they are all talking over each other, flexing their status, and showing off. You're just there, watching, relaxed, your eyes calm, your shoulders loose, and in that stillness, she feels something real, something ancient, something deeply masculine, because women aren't wired to crave the court jester. They crave the king who doesn't need a stage, the one who commands the room by doing less. Because less, when done right, is everything. There's a reason women remember the man who didn't try. The one who was kind, calm, confident, but also slightly distant, not cold, just selective. She remembers him because he didn't put her on a pedestal, because his energy didn't scream, please like me. It said, I like myself. And that kind of energy is rare, it lingers, it leaves a mark. She might forget what you said. She might even forget your name. But she will never forget how your stillness made her feel. And when she's lying awake at night, wondering why she can't stop thinking about you, that's not a game, that's gravity. You want to get women without trying. Build calm energy. Learn how to sit in silence without reaching for your phone. Learn how to observe a room without reacting to it. Learn how to carry yourself like you belong everywhere, not because you were invited, but because you choose to be there. That kind of man, he doesn't wait for the green light. He is the signal. And every time you hold that frame, every time, you resist the urge to fill the silence, to seek attention, to prove yourself. You deepen her curiosity. You deepen the energy. You deepen the bond, all without a single line. You want to flip the dynamic. You want to make her chase you. Don't chase. Don't react. Don't break your stillness. Let her feel the tension of not knowing where she stands with you. Let her lean in. Let her ask the questions. Because women are used to being chased. They are used to getting attention, but when your energy says, I'm not moved by you, it makes her question herself. And that question, that's what hooks her. It feels like magic, but it's not. It's control, emotional control, masculine presence. It's the game behind the game, the one that never gets taught, the one that lives entirely in your stillness. So stop memorizing pickup lines, stop overthinking what to say, stop trying to be clever. Start building the one thing that speaks louder than any words ever could. Your calm energy, the way you walk, the way you breathe, the way you pause, the way you hold a stare, the way you don't react. That's what speaks to her feminine core. That's what makes her lean in. That's what makes her feel things she can't explain. And in a world full of men trying to be heard, you become the one she feels without you even saying a word. Calm energy isn't just about attraction, it's about control. When you master it, you stop being the puppet in other people's emotional games. You stop chasing validation. You stop reacting to every flicker of attention or withdrawal. You begin to operate from a place of profound abundance. Because when your energy is calm, your decisions are clean. You are not driven by fear. You are not acting out of scarcity. You are not responding to her mood swings. You watch her, you study her, and when something feels off, you don't argue. You don't explain. You just pull back. Not out of spite, but out of principle. That's what calm energy gives you, clarity and boundaries. The loudest man in the room is usually the weakest. His voice, his laughter, his very presence, it's all a shield, a disguise for the insecurity that is boiling just underneath the surface. But the man who says less, the one who listens, who sits still, who doesn't react to every little thing, he's different. He's dangerous. Not because he's aggressive, but because he doesn't need you. He doesn't need your approval. And that calm, detached presence is intoxicating to women. It triggers something deeper than logic, something evolutionary, because calmness implies confidence, and confidence implies safety. And when she feels safe, she lets go. You'll notice it in the way she starts to behave around you. She slows down, she watches you. She begins to mirror your pace, because your calm energy sets the tone for the entire interaction. She's not leading anymore, she's responding, and that's the shift you want. That's when the game flips. Because now you're not trying to enter her frame. She's scrambling to enter yours. She's entering your world, your rhythm, your emotional climate. And that climate, it's peaceful, it's masculine, it's grounded. And once she feels it, she realizes that this is what she's been craving all along, but didn't know how to ask for. Most men don't last long enough in a state of calm energy to see its effects. They cave when it gets uncomfortable, when the silence stretches on for a few seconds too long, when she doesn't reply to their text right away, when she gives them mixed signals. That's when they crumble. That's when they double text, over-explain, and try harder. But the man who stays calm through all of it, the one who keeps his tone steady, his presence relaxed, his eyes soft but firm, he wins. Not by force, but by endurance. Because your calm isn't just about you, it's a test for her, a test to see if she can meet you in your peace, or if she will try to drag you down into her chaos. Women don't want chaos, they're just used to it. They've grown up in a world of emotional volatility, of drama, of uncertainty. So when you offer them genuine calm, they don't always know how to handle it at first. They may test it, they may try to create waves just to see if you'll break. But if you don't, if you stay still, stay grounded, stay clear, something profound shifts within her. She starts to trust you, to respect you, to desire you. Because calm energy isn't just attractive, it's the embodiment of masculine leadership. It's emotional maturity. It's what allows her to finally let go of control. Because now, for once, someone else is holding the wheel. The calm man is rare, and women chase what's rare. They are surrounded by men who overcompensate, who try too hard, who fumble the moment with their nervous energy. But you don't fumble, because you are not performing. You're not trying to be seen. You are already visible. That's the paradox. The more calm and inward you are, the more she is drawn outwards, toward you. Because she's not drawn to what you say, she's drawn to how you feel. And when your vibe is steady, when your soul is quiet, when your body is unshaken, that's when she wants to move closer. You don't need pickup lines when your life is the proof. When your energy radiates discipline, clarity, and focus. When you show up to the world with a deep composure, not as a tactic, but as your default state. That's the real game. That's what works in any room, on any woman, in any situation. Because calm energy isn't context dependent, it's a core trait, and when you live it, breathe it, and walk it, it becomes the loudest thing about you, even if you never say a word. And in the end, that's all a woman wants, to feel something real without having to dig through a mountain of noise to find it. Your calm presence is the sanctuary she never knew she needed. It's where she puts down her guard. It's where she can stop performing, because your energy doesn't demand anything of her. It invites, it creates space. It says, you are safe here, but only if you respect the peace I have built. That subtle boundary, that quiet assertion, that is more powerful than any seductive phrase. Because it says, I am not afraid of losing you, I am afraid of losing me. And that kind of man, the one who chooses his own peace over her performance, he is the one she remembers long after all the noise has faded away. Calmness is not weakness, it is not passivity. It is the fiercest form of control there is. It's what allows you to dominate a room without raising your voice, to own a woman's attention without touching her, to influence a situation without forcing your will. Calmness is the eye of the storm. And when you learn to live there, when your very energy reflects that profound internal stability, you stop chasing everything that used to confuse you. And women, in turn, start chasing you. Not because you did anything, but because you finally became everything they didn't even know they were looking for. So don't waste your time trying to say the perfect line. Don't chase trends. Don't memorize scripts. Become the kind of man whose presence speaks for him, whose energy holds weight, whose silence makes people lean in. Your calm energy is your power. It's your leverage. It's your legacy. And in the end, when the words fade and the dust settles, all that remains is how you made her feel. And if you made her feel peace in a world of chaos, she'll never forget you. Not because of what you said, but because of who you were. Calm energy becomes a filter. It reveals everything. When you operate from a place of stillness, you begin to notice what others miss. You see who's performing, who's reactive, who's honest, who's fake. And especially with women, it reveals who is ready for a man, like you, and who is not. Because your calm will frustrate the ones who need chaos to feel alive. It will trigger the ones who are used to emotional roller coasters. They will find your peace unsettling, even boring. But the woman who has evolved, who is ready, who has tasted the chaos of other men and grown tired of it, she will feel nourished. By your calm she will feel a sense of relief. She will exhale because finally she doesn't have to lead. She doesn't have to control. She gets to relax into her feminine essence. In the beginning, your calm will confuse her. She wonder why you're not chasing her. Why you're not showering her with compliments every 5 minutes. Why you don't flinch when she pulls away or says something provocative. And that confusion, it's powerful, because it breaks the pattern she is so used to. She is used to men proving, begging, and folding. But your calm, It introduces a new reality, a new standard. One where you don't dance for her affection, one where you don't react to her tests. You observe, you lead, you hold your line. And when she realizes that she is not in control of your emotional state, that's when she feels something deeper than just attraction. She feels desire, she feels respect, she feels, on a primal level, a sense of submission. This is why calm energy is the ultimate amplifier. Whatever you are at your core, your calm makes it 10 times louder. If you are grounded in a deep sense of purpose, your calm makes you magnetic. If you are empty on the inside, your calm will make you seem invisible. Because calmness doesn't cover up flaws, it reveals depth, or the lack thereof. It's a mirror, and that's why it's so effective. Because women aren't responding to noise. They are responding to a signal, and your calm is the clearest signal of all. It says, I am not here to entertain. I am here to build. I am not looking to impress. I am looking to connect, but on my terms. When you learn to live in a state of calm, everything changes. You don't force texts. You don't chase calls. You don't obsessively check her stories. You stop measuring your worth by her reactions, and you start measuring it by your alignment with your own values, your discipline, your inner peace. And ironically, that is precisely when she comes closer, because your detachment isn't bitter, it's stable. And in a world of men who panic at every moment of silence, your calm becomes the stark contrast she never knew she craved. You become the still water she wants to swim in, the quiet space where she can finally hear herself think, and most of all, you become unforgettable. She will test you. Make no mistake, she will try to break that calm, she will stir up drama, she will push your buttons, because she needs to know, can you handle her? Can you stay still when she spirals? Can you stay composed when she flails? Can you stay kind, clear and steady when she throws her worst at you? If you can, you pass. Not just her test, but the test of your own self-control. Because calm energy isn't just about how you begin an interaction, it's about how you maintain it. Anyone can fake confidence in the first 5 minutes, but can you keep it when you're tired, annoyed, or disappointed? That's where the real strength lives, don't. And here's the thing, your calm doesn't just affect her, it affects you. It changes the way you walk through the world. You stop fearing rejection, because rejection cannot shake a man who is at peace. You stop chasing approval, because external approval cannot buy you internal clarity. You stop negotiating your standards, because you realize your standards are the very things that create your calm. And the man who lives this way, he doesn't burn out, he doesn't second guess himself. He doesn't feel like he's constantly losing the game because he's not playing anymore. He is leading, quietly, powerfully, relentlessly. This is why pickup lines die fast, but calm energy lasts forever, because a line works once, maybe, but a vibe works daily. A clever phrase might open a door, but your essence, your energy, it's what keeps her inside. It anchors her. And most of all, it sets the tone. Every word you speak, every boundary you set, every interaction you have, it all starts with the energy you carry into the room. And if that energy is calm, grounded, masculine, and whole, then the women who aren't ready for that will naturally fall away, and the ones who are, they will come closer. Not because you asked them to, but because your silence pulled them. In you become a force, not a flame that flickers, but a mountain that endures. And she feels that, she starts to rely on your energy. Not your money, not your gifts, not your flattery, but your energy, because your calm becomes her compass. It helps her return to her feminine center. It allows her to feel safe. It gives her permission to stop performing, because in your stillness, she finds the space to simply be. That's the gift you give her. Not entertainment, not stimulation, but stillness. And that stillness becomes the most valuable thing in her life. So don't underestimate your quiet. Don't try to outtalk the players in the room. Don't try to outshine the loud ones, outlast them, outground them, because in the long run, it's not the flash that keeps a woman, it's the foundation. And your calm is that foundation. It's the signal to the world that you're not here for games, you're here for growth, you're here for alignment. And when the dust settles, when the noise fades, when all the smooth talkers have fallen away, you will remain, because your presence isn't an act, it's who you are. So brother, let them talk, let them chase, let them perform. But you build peace, you embody stillness, you walk with purpose. And when a woman feels your calm, she won't forget it, not because it screamed, but because it centered her. Not because it impressed her, but because it stilled her. You don't need to convince, you don't need to charm, you don't need to sell. You are the product, you are the peace. You are the peace, are the presence. And in a world full of men shouting to be seen, you are the one she hears without a word.